he can get punished pretty hard.
All right, we're seeing the normal bans out there from Mineski, of course, except for Pugna. Is he a normal ban these days? Is he worthy of first phase banning? Apparently.
Can't really say.
Yeah.
We've seen some teams pull it out. Liquid used him in one of their games earlier today. It's one of those heroes that maybe teams have just seen in scrims and feels strong for them.
One of the few methods of damage amplification left in the meta as well, and easy tower push. The itemization, I think, is a big part of it too, because you can just get all these super cheap items. You have like 3. You have like an Aether Lens, I don't know, Atos, Blink, Dagon, whatever you buy. If you have 10,000 net worth, you have like 3 items, and that's very valuable current patch.
Sure. And here's a hero that we're all pretty familiar with these days, Doom. Very in the meta hero pick, especially in the beginning. Remember those days when Doom was the gotcha pick? Oh, tricked you, I picked Doom. But not anymore. You just kind of grab them now.
What? What?
What?
When was it a trick?
Yeah, it's the gotcha. You get a very strong position 1 and the 4 protect 1, and then out comes Doom who counters any 1. It was back in the day, Kyle. It was before your day.
Okay. I'll trust you.
It was before Han.
Really?
Yeah. In Dota Primal.
Oh.
Very cool game. Jakiro! Let's talk about that, gentlemen.
Interesting. The new one, you just max Ice Path. I don't... Is that cleansable? It is, right?
With the Oracle, yeah.
The Oracle Q does, right?
Oh, the Q does.
I thought Ice...
would. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. But
it's hard to spell.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to confirm that. So Ice Path is one of the few non-hex disables that isn't soft dispellable. You need the strong dispel. So you can't Fortune's End off an Ice Path. It's going to be maxed out, and it's a very good anti-Razor because you just throw it down, he cannot traverse across the ice. Thus, the link will be broken, some tower pressure, and yeah.
Just seems like a solid 5-2. Like, we talk about Silence just being a bad hero, and I think Jakira's just like a pretty solid, decent all-around 5 position.
Yep. And you want to take your 5 here because you are first pick, thus you don't want to reveal anything until the second phase of bans concludes.
Now, are you guys sure this isn't Jakiro mid? We've seen it a few times.
Yes.
Just yes?
Yes.
You're 100% sure, Kyle?
You asked him a yes or no question. He gave you a yes.
Yeah,
I mean,
what did you want? You want the percentages again?
No, I don't want the percentage. Take it easy, Nahas. Put those back. I'll take the normal answers. Thank you. Oh, wow. Gonna ban out Meepo as well. These are very respectful bans coming out from LGD.
I like it. They're heroes you don't want to play against, simply put. And there's no reason to give Mineski the lineup that they're obviously confident with. Plus, Meepo's just dumb to play against.
Why is that?
It's just something no one's really got practice against, right? It changes what Dota is. There's very few heroes that do it that are currently pickable. Like the old Huskar last picks, Broodmother last picks. Like even Drow was this way for some time, where you can take a draft and be like, okay, we've got a great draft. Like, we're going to win this game. But then that last hero can just... oh crap, we're suddenly, it flips, it seesaws the advantage completely, and there's only like a handful that can still do this.
Sure, so it's just much easier to just ban Meepo and not have to deal with it.
Correct.
So why didn't you do it that one TI? It's just a simple yes or it's just a question, Kyle. I'm just wondering, because you seem to know.
We'll have words that segment.
I love how between the two panels we brought up Kyle's two most iconic TI moments.
It's fine, Slugs. This is a long event. All right, you're running out of ammo pretty quick.
Wraith King, a very interesting ban. Have we seen any Wraith King yet this event?
Not on the mainstream, I don't
No,
think.
I don't
Maybe other
so.
games, but Wraith King against Doom, standard, probably the best safe laner in the game to run against Doom. Don't care about being doomed, you've got Reincarnation.
It's so much damage as well. And it's great synergy with heroes like Razor. Whenever I see this hero, I want my other 2 cores to have some sort of lockdown and also be tanky. Because Razor wants to run in, and he'd prefer to be able to itemize purely for these aura defensive type items.
The Atos build seems
Atos
like
is
we're
so
past
good.
that. Yeah.
Atos into something like BKB Shiva's AC. It's just really nice.
Heck yeah. I'm excited about Shadow Shaman.
Told you, by the way. Save plus Hex support. It's the common combo.
Absolutely. And a little bit of push, a little bit of defense. Shaman really does everything in this meta. He's such a strong hero. I'm surprised we don't see him more often.
See him quite a bit.
I mean, I want to see him every game. I want to see him on Oracle standards. Absolutely first pick every game. He's strong.
I think he's harder because he's played mostly in the 4 position role, and he's so much squishier and unreliable compared to some of these other 4s. Normally, if you don't know what that dual lane's going to be, like last game, you're not going to run a Darkseer Shadow Shaman. Like, you picked up that Darkseer, you're going to get something that synergizes with it. So you kind of have to curate an off lane around having Shadow Shaman, which is a bit trickier. Oracle's just going to work any single game.
I agree. Squishy and unreliable. That's what my father used to say about me.
And he wasn't wrong.
No. Very squishy. Let's go ahead and talk about Lycan. Is that a hero these days that everybody picks? It's very high MMR hero. I know he dominates Immortal pubs, but pro games?
It's really good with heroes like Doom. Again, that same concept. You just keep running in. Razor can't ever man up against a Lycan, especially with the Necro units out.
Yeah.
And these 2 supports, you look at them, Oracle, Rasta, no peel. If you can get on top of them, high reach, which the puck really does handle. It's not ideal against Oracle because he can negate all of your damage, but it just gets on top of these supports, which is crucial.
Well, you know what we don't see much anymore that used to dominate PSG.LGD games? They used to be all about that PA Magnus combo. That's just dead now, right?
It is. I just realized something.
What's that?
You've been using your notes quite a bit. And it'd be a real shame if those disappeared. You're getting to the end of that page, my friend.
Well,
There's more pages.
pretty sure there's only going to be a 2-0 in this series. So I think
That explains the chant you were doing backstage.
all right. Thank you
2-0.
very much.
2-0. We should... Never mind. We'll talk about that later. There's a lot we got to talk about.
Thank you, Kyle.
Oh!
Vaguely threatening words.
Well, here's the...
Naga is a cool pick. I'm surprised they took it 4th, but it was banned 2nd phase last game. It just seems a tad early for my liking.
I mean, it's not old Naga, though. It's more of a carry role. How do you really build around Naga?
It's just, it's like PL. Like, think about picking a PL in this spot. It'd be the same thing, where you don't really like it because there's too much available in PSG.LGD's repertoire.
It's a hero that doesn't care too much about the Doom. You're not really ever a good Doom target.
Isn't it really bad against Puck, though?
Yeah, it
Double spell just clears all the illusions.
Doesn't seem amazing against the LGD heroes so far.
Yeah, it's media terribly.
And also does not synergize with Mineski's draft with the song specifically.
Yep, there's nothing to set up.
Yeah, I always want to see at least one hero that can combo with it, even if it's just like a support Jakiro with an Ice Path. Ideally, it's something more, but there's 0.
So really low damage. The whole Mineski lineup is pretty low damage at the moment. I love the cores from PSG.LGD. Puck, Doom, Terrorblade. Just super simple. Everybody runs in.
They do sometimes play the Naga on KP as a 3. I mean, it's a KP signature hero, of course. Whether or not that means he's still going to play it, we'll have to wait and see. But he could just play that like 3-position Aura builder Naga Siren. Naga Shaman seems like a decently strong lane, and then they just pick a carry for Ajit as their last hero.
I can see it. I like it. I like that more than carry Naga right now because no offlaner affects the game enough to warrant picking here. Like, there's just nothing you can take that alters the game state. A lot of carries of more versatile skill sets. For PSG.LGD, you just need a hero for the Prince himself, FY. Or he's playing the Doom of the Puck. Yeah. Both are possibilities.
LGD's turn to pick.
The Prince.
I think we haven't seen much mid-puck, to be honest. But maybe as always, being a puck player.
That's one of the few matchups. You can see Quap being banned out by Mineski 2nd phase. Puck's the only other hero that's got, I would argue, an advantage because you have more base damage, significantly more. I believe it'll be like a 15 or 16 point advantage at the initial start, and you can always juke the link. And the Q as well.
That sounds pretty good. That's a pretty long list of why Puck is good in this game.
Yeah, you also coil him, and then if he doesn't have BKB, he can't run out of it. Even if you do buy BKB as Razor, which you need to be able to maneuver, an Ag's coil just removes your ability to play Dota.
We'll say one thing about Mineski's draft, though. Much more made so that people can run at them and they can still kind of survive. Necrophos picked up.
So
Mineski needs some magic damage.
Yeah, definitely.
Magic damage against TB Necro. This is where you want that Naga 3. Put Razor safely and get like a Tinker or something here. I don't know. They need something to just dish out some damage. The Pugna is banned.
They have nothing to really do anything to heroes that have BKB. Like, you could link them, but there's so much damage output from PSG.LGD. Necro is also great against Razor because it's one of those heroes you just don't want to run at. Like, Necro likes it if you chase him and try to kill him, and he uses his saves to stay alive. It's going to be a Doom support now, like 95% sure. And I just love this draft from PSG.LGD. They got enough catch. their lineup will scale exponentially. And Mineski, you're looking at, I think, a 1 position here, but I'm not quite sure what it would be. Ember would be great, but it's obviously not available. They don't have tower damage outside of Shaman's wards. I mean, they could go for something. They could go for the Lone Druid themselves. I just don't know. Like, where's the song set up?
Yeah, we need some kind of big burst damage to knock these guys out, huh?
You need an ability to win fights into Terrorblade BKB, and right now you don't have one. It's a concern. Net, of course, Naga used to be great against this sort of style, but Net no longer goes through BKB. Thank goodness. It's also one of the heroes that has been picked until now. Different play style has been developed.
Man, I wish we could see Zeus again. That'd be fun to get a lot of magical burst damage in a game like this. Used to be the standard Terrorblade counter, but those days are long gone, huh, boys?
No, it's actually a pretty decent Zeus game, but they just their whole draft becomes so squishy. I think you just get walked at. Zeus is great. I think if people keep picking Naga and TB, like you will see Zeus. Really good against Razor as well, to an extent. The problem is Razor can buy an Atos, and he uses Atos incredibly well. It's the same reason Viper was meta for so long until a bit of the nerfs, because you just all they needed was the ability to stop TPs and stats.
Only 5 seconds left for Mineski, just about. They took their time, and it will be Alina.
Magic damage burst. It's like it ticks some boxes. It's doesn't salvage their draft, I wouldn't say, but it's, I don't know. As far as the options go, it's probably one of the better ones that was available.
All right. KP Razor, it'll be an Ajit Naga.
Okay.
I do not like this. I think the Necro is going to go into the Naga, and that lane will be at worst even. Puck beats Lina in lane and in game, and you don't really have the answer to the Terrorblade. I just don't buy it. Again, PSG.LGD, they haven't lost. To reiterate, they have not lost. Not just in this tournament. Well, you know.
They haven't lost. They played 1 game.
They haven't lost.
I was setting up. I know you're going to say that.
Keep your voice
Talking
down.
about scrims, okay? Talking about real facts
I haven't seen the
from
scrims.
behind the
Viewers
scenes.
haven't seen the scrims.
I'm telling you,
there are a lot of children watching this stream. Do not yell. Thank you, everybody, for watching the panel. We are going to head straight into the game to watch this one. Will the team that never lost finally lose? Will Mineski take it out? Let's find out with our boys, OD Pixel and Tsunami, in a sec.
Observing is something where I felt like I would actually push the whole craft forwards. I could give people something that they would enjoy.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to PSG.LGD versus Mineski. This is Game 2. I'm OD Pixel, joined once again by Tsunami. And what do we have here? Well, the big one that stands out to me is that this time Mineski, they're going to be the ones that are able to get themselves that Oracle, that all-powerful support that everybody's fighting over nowadays.
Yeah, that dude has proven to be one of the most enduring themes of this patch. It was popular in the minor, it's popular here. But on LGD's side, they also got the Doom, who I believe was pretty much the most contested hero at the minor. And you can't put, too much stock in what minor teams do versus what major teams do, but I think it's safe to say that Doom is an incredibly strong hero. Now, theoretically, Naga Siren has been... I think she needs a little more time in the oven. Teams are still trying to figure her out. Once upon a time, it would have always been KP, and that was in the era of, Meteor Hammer Naga Siren. And he still has a history of playing the hero. He would usually go utility. And that's why I'm kind of with the panel in that I'm not enthusiastic about this Mineski draft. They picked this Naga, and once upon a time, maybe it would have surprised teams. I don't think that's the case anymore, and I think LGD are prepared for... Well, I mean, you saw Mineski were down to the wire for their Lina pick. It seemed like they were just there for contingencies.
And in terms of sort of the fight stand line, which we're going to expect to see, I feel... the way that PSG.LGD played in the last game, around sort of this 10-minute onward mark where you are going to have PSG.LGD making these efforts as a team. The execution from both sides, there's very key things to watch out for, right? If you're PSG.LGD, there's this Doom and the Scythe. They have this ability to delete 2 heroes. Mineski, they do have ways to sort of put a stop to that. Ajit, he's going to be able to be on the back lines, potentially with a Song. A little harder to do because he is that position 1 Naga. He needs to be doing the damage. And they do have the save from the Oracle. The question is, what is easier in terms of execution? Do you feel that PSG.LGD can walk over sort of these 5v5s in the mid game a little easier than Mineski can stop them happening?
I think they're going to make sure that there aren't any 5v5s until the Terrorblade is ready, and that's going to be the most important thing. Much as how we saw in Game 1, Ame was just kind of taking a back seat while his mid-game core of the mid lane, which was Storm Spirit in Game 1 and will be Necrophos in Game 2, is just going to prove to be that LGD are never going to let KP and the rest of Mineski get any damage into their team, and that's why Lina, I think, was probably one of their better options at the mid lane, but again, nothing from the Mineski draft seems ideal yet. And the way that LGD played in Game 1, I think whatever they're hoping to accomplish is just going to be too difficult to execute.
We'll see how much of a sort of an edge they can get on that bottom lane. Mineski, we saw there, having this Razor against the Terrorblade at the start, it was very nice in the way that the Oracle holds him down. Suddenly this Metamorphosis usage, which is a Terrorblade, it's normally, you pop that spell, you're going to have a couple of, few waves where you're going to have uncontested CS. Having that hold down with the static link means that suddenly that Metamorphosis isn't going to get you all the free CS in the world. But down the line, we'll see how that lane transpires. As now moving to the 2v2s with Ninja Boogie. He'll head up top and see what he can do to make sure that Ajit gets some farm against the pressure of this Doom Puck lane, which is playing very aggressively, charging in straight away, hunting down Ajit in the trees. FY, if he gets one more hit, could get the kill, but Ajit will be able to walk away with a bit of a juke there. FY does continue to look for him in the trees, but Ajit has already made himself back to safety. I said that Chalice did try and hit him with the orb, but won't quite find the angle. They are able to turn towards Ninja Boogie. I mean, this top lane, both heroes of Mineski just getting brought down very low by these 2 heroes, just being able to be so aggressive with their spells.
Yeah, you say Ajit gets back to safety, but safety is a very relative thing. As in the mid lane, we see that this Necrophos may not be very safe as he gets snared up, taken down.
A good wrap around there from Raging Potato. Sees an opportunity to make that gank with the haste rune. Had the ward down, had the rune vision, and bam, he's quick with the moves. Catches out, maybe. Similar way that the first game did start.
Yeah, I'm seeing shades of that. So now if my calculations are correct, then Lina should die very quickly,
I was going to say, look for the Lina to die soon if Game 1 was anything to go by. In lane, X-Nova will get found out by Raging Potato. He's got a Mango ready into the Shackles. That'll give more than enough time for KP to build up the static link damage required to slap that dragon down. A second kill for Mineski in these first few minutes of laning.
Yeah, the side lanes are proving to be a little bit more competitive this time around. But LGD are also bringing the fight, especially in the safe lane. I'm curious what this Naga's entire game plan is, what her build is going to be, stuff like that. There are still lots of different schools of thoughts on which way to play a core Naga. And I don't know if I've seen Ajit's Naga yet, so I'm curious to see, will he go for the defusal early on, and how early he feels it's necessary to fight. Ideally, whenever you have a Razor, you can fight very early on. And Alina is also a very mid-game focused hero, so I would prefer the Naga to go greedier if possible so that she can go toe-to-toe with Terrorblade in late game. But if LGD keep up a heavy pace, then she may not have that luxury.
Talking about pace, it will be a slow start for the Terrorblade. We've seen with the lanes, with the pressure, bottom lane, it's going very, very nicely for Mineski. KP, 19 for 13 on the Razor, with the way that Mineski being able to secure that lane. And Ame, he's still sitting on pretty much 9 CS, which I think he had it like sort of 2 minutes in. Ever since then, he's just not been able to touch the creeps because of that threat of Raging Potato leading in with the lockdown, buying time for the Razor to come in with the slaps and get the kill. He's got to be careful. It is going to be a slow start, of course, as a Terrorblade. He can recover, right? It's not the end of the world if he has a rough start. He can just hit the jungle at a certain point. But still, you got to be a little worried here if you're PSG.LGD. It's such a slow start for him.
And there's Jakiro as well.
Another kill for Mineski. The bottom lane continue to play out like a bit of a dream up top. FY is pretty low. Does hit the Scorch to help him get away. We'll see the bounty runes being contested. In fact, Chalice, he's able to get the kill onto Ninja Boogie. The burst damage is there from the orb. Will take the kill. But overall, you know, things being said, Mineski definitely off to a much hotter start here in this game too.
Yeah, I think Terrorblade's at the soonest. I think level 4 is when you're like, I guess I'll go into the jungle. Anything sooner than that, you're like, it's not worth my time. I'm better off just soaking any lane experience. But you see how much he's getting abused by this Razor. And it doesn't really matter who you send to his lane at this point. Like, the rest of Mineski is trying to rotate on mid right now. They don't even need to help this Razor. Although,
it's a hard move. But look how many wards they sort of have protecting this line. There's a sort of a Orion's belt of Radiant Observer wards between that bottom lane
I see that
and the middle lane. Yeah, just making sure that there is no way that another wraparound is going to be there on maybe successfully. And of course, it's working. It's pretty much impossible for Mineski to catch out maybe unless he sort of closes his eyes and doesn't look at the game at all.
And it is preemptive because this Terrorblade is going to transition into the jungle at one point. And even beyond protecting him in terms of vision, you're also going to know whenever the supports, you know, like go in and they're like, oh, let's just place a ward real quick as now we get a shackle onto the Necro.
Yeah, they do get a bit of a lead in, but he's already deep. Having that vision, he knows that as long as he holds himself back, Mineski aren't going to dive that far. So the vision game certainly starting very strong for PSG.LGD in terms of protecting that mid lane. Top lane continuing to do very well for PSG.LGD as well. You have Chalice 30 for 13 on the puck. He's going to be able to get his game going very well. The wraparound's there. He's able to walk in towards Moon, but Moon has the backup of Ninja Boogie. FY still able to get in. In fact, with the setup for the Reaper's Sight, they'll have the damage to bring him down and underneath that threshold. So that is Moon out of the game for a solid 40 seconds very early on.
This is a 4-position Doom, need I remind the audience. This is not a Doom who was getting the majority of the farm. In fact, Puck is right now topping the CS charts. So this is just the power that you have with this hero. Doom is just an exceptional hero right now. And Lina, even though they did a pretty good job of keeping him under control, it's really difficult to keep him under control for that long.
Pretty much all 5 of the 6 cores are having a good game at the moment. All on sort of the same level in terms of farm. It is just this bottom lane Arme falling behind. Raging Potato and KP trying to play aggressive, but FY, he's there with the response. Comes in with the backup. The 3 of them on PSG.LGD now turn towards the Shaman, chasing down Raging Potato. He's doing his best to run himself away, but the Scorched Earth and the Satire Blast from FY will pick up yet another kill. As FY from mid lane to bottom lane, he's making these crucial movements, especially around this bottom lane area, making sure that Arme's Terrorblade, who had a rough start, can get a little bit of space to begin to be, you know, to start that climb of getting back in the game as a Terrorblade.
Yeah, it was great timing by FY. This was another situation where, you know, as a Razor, I imagine you start feeling yourself after you've been 2v1ing for a lot of the time. And so they are, you know, kind of out of position, all things considered, as now on the top lane, Terrorblade decided to visit this Naga Siren.
There's going to be the backup from Raging Potato. He goes straight away with the shackles onto the Terrorblade. They're going to be able to kill him off. Vargit is still alive, finally falls to Chalice, but Mineski, they take the favorable trade. KP comes in. They take the 2-for-1, 2 cores as well at that. Both Chalice and Arme going down. As Mineski, just as to say that this game too, they've definitely already addressed some of the issues that they had from game 1.
I think they only got like 4 kills in the last game, so already beating that benchmark. But this is definitely looking like a much more solid, put-together roster than what we saw in game 1. And it's one that can continue to accelerate. Like, Razor is making the right movements. I was a little bit surprised that Terrorblade went for that movement because he didn't have like a siege creep. The rest of his team wasn't ready to push or anything, but he popped the Metamorphosis basically just to kill a Naga Siren, and now he doesn't have it. Now he's lonely jungling away without that, you know, very useful farming accelerant of Metamorphosis.
Yeah, so, you know, sort of at this time when he hasn't got it, and with the farm that he is lacking, Arme, he cannot show his face in the lane. Yeah. There's going to be answers. Mineski, they're coming a hunting. Both teams, in fact, smoking up. You have Mineski making the movement with Moon, and of course PSG.LGD making the movement with maybe both heroes. They sort of operate in the same capacity at the moment. One's got a scythe that they want to blow someone up with, and the other has that Laguna Blade ready to pop someone. Top lane, Raging Potato finds the lead in there, able to catch out Chalice. There's the Laguna from Moon to follow up the kill. Chalice is gone. We'll see at the same time if PSG.LGD do end up finding themselves something. They found the Naga Siren. They're trying to bring down Argit low enough to get him with that ult, because Argit doesn't have any points in the Song of the Siren, so cannot get himself away safely. Then now turn towards the Razor as well, as Razor KP tried to come in, do something in response for losing the Naga Siren, but FY, they're ready and waiting, has the level 6. Doom's dropped down, runs past the tower to get that kill. As PSG.LGD back on the form from game 1, matching that pace and aggression from Mineski.
Yeah, these dueling smokes. I guess supposedly I would say that panned out more for LGD, even though Puck is extremely farmed up. It's really on this Naga Siren to carry Mineski to the late game. And she's struggling. She has basically the same farm as the enemy 4-position Doom. And this is a 1-position Naga Siren.
That's true. I mean, FY he's starting to go off. You can see these moves so far in the game from him. And on the map, but Naga Siren, most of the time being up top, decided to make that move down towards the bottom.
Granted, Terrorblade is down there with her too.
That's true. That's true.
So
yeah.
it's not all roses
They're
for
sort
LGD.
of sitting at the same part of the moment, both Arjit and Arme. Sort of praying and hoping that the space is going to be there for them to hit the jungle, as both of these heroes do love to do at this point of the game, and they absolutely can with those illusions. They can farm safely, but both sides already showing us that want to get in aggressive and start to invade. Top lane, Raging Potato KP, they've found FY. Pretty tanky, he does have Chalice by his side. As Chalice is able to come in with the silence, and FY, he's trying to turn and chase down Raging Potato. Keeps the vision, runs him down with the Scorched Earth. They cannot kill that Doom immediately. He'll start to pop the salve, get himself far enough away from the Oracle so he gets a good duration out of it. They'll still try and chase him down, the Mineski. FY has got Chalice and Nova by the side. He's going up to the high ground, but FY, he has walked into Moon, and Moon will be able to burst him with that Dragon Slave. Chalice has to get away too, does push them back towards the Shrine. Mineski will pop it. PSG.LGD don't chase any further. So Mineski at least able to finally put a rein to FY's movements across the map. He was getting away with a lot, and they finally say no.
Yeah, and that was necessary. But in terms of what you were originally saying about like both teams seeking initiation because everyone wants to go farm in the jungle, so I'm really glad this Puck is going for Blink Dagger first item. It's not necessary on an offlane Puck a lot of the times. Sometimes, you know, you'll see like veils and stuff like that, but really all you need to do is get the jump, and you have plenty of follow-up. You've got a long-range Ice Path, which is being maxed out by Xnova, as is the norm these days. Doom has proven to have surprisingly high move speed, and he's going for a Blink Dagger of his own, so he has the Phase Boots and Drum completed. So it's all about the domino effect. You just need that one initial movement, and everyone can very, very quickly follow up on it.
A scan will come out from Mineski. They do know that this movement's coming in towards the mid lane, so Moon positioning himself accordingly, moving down towards the south. Dreamcoat will still catch him out. He'll opt for the stun as he backs away. He does get the follow-up freeze path connection from Xnova, but the save is there from Ninja Boogie. False promise, keeping Moon safe. They've got to back out. PSG.LGD, they're chasing this down with full force. Jump forward with the orb. Ninja Boogie burst out of the game. They get the freeze path, the ice path connection onto Moon, but they won't be able to go to the high ground as KP is now there. They'll look towards Xnova, but then themselves, Mineski being 2 heroes down, won't be able to chase any further. So 2 free kills there for PSG.LGD. Crucial space as well. Arme was able to push in a bit on that top lane.
And Ajay was able to push a little bit on the bot, and Xnova has a little inkling that a Naga Siren may be creeping around, but Ajay actually is going to manage to scoot out. Still has not skilled up Song, but it's kind of necessary as a Naga Siren who is this far behind.
Just making sure that he can maximize farm with those high levels of illusions and riptides, but as you say, it does mean he doesn't have a defensive escape ability with the teleport scroll combination. Has to be careful. Gets away this time. We'll see if he's as lucky next time. He's got KP by his side. KP, there's not too much he can do here. Can do a bit of damage, but he's never going to get the kill. Chalice with an orb available. Doesn't even need to use it to get away. It can be efficient. Turns around and actually clears out the whole creep wave. So extra bit of bonus for Chalice there on the escape.
And now KP should have solution for that Puck as he is very, very close to completing his rod.
Yeah, that's a good amount of follow-up and catch, you know, as long as they can get that sort of instant initiation from the Shaman from the trees or from a nicely played Light Strike array of Moon's Lina. They do have that follow-up lockdown.
Yeah, and she's going for a Yules of her own, so they're looking for answers.
Arme, good timing still here with the Metamorphosis to continue this pressure up top. But with that in mind, you know, they know that he's used the meta. Mineski know he's going to want to do as much as he can to this tier 1 tower. So they come in with this smoke. He's also playing safe, has got FY by his side. FY heads forward, will be able to dispel the smoke on Mineski. They put a stop to the movement of Mineski, and Mineski will not be able to find that catch that they were hoping for onto Arme. With the position that they are in, they can look towards that tier 1 tower push, but PSG.LGD are more than prepared. They have every single ultimate ready to fight with. See if they can get any sort of catch. Ice Path won't clip onto Raging Potato.
Puck has the Blink Dagger, but it's coming on the Courier. If only she had it like another 30 seconds sooner, then they would have gladly gone in for that Bounty Rune fight. But no reason to commit too heavily if you don't think you have a good opening. And now, hopefully, Chalice can find a way to debut this Blink Dagger, although he may just show himself on the mid lane just to farm.
Will do so. As he comes forward. Bottom lane, Arjit was quick to get out of that top lane. Sort of sees the potential for a 5v5. He's not ready yet.
No.
So he TPs out of there, goes bottom, gets the 2 bounty runes, and is able to keep the pressure on down bottom. Does mean the PSG.LGD can move towards the mid lane, and they'll take the tier 1 tower. Not really a lot that Mineski can do to put a stop to that one. KP now having that Rod of Atos actually on him.
And Serpent Ward's dropped on the top lane, so Mineski has been definitely far more effective at pushing towers. That was only the first tier 1 tower claimed by LGD in the mid lane, whereas this is the last tier 1 tower remaining for LGD.
A bit of a dream rune here for FY. Getting the invis. And having Doom available, he could absolutely go for something here. Just a +1 and it would be an easy kill.
Oh, Jakiro and now a TP.
That's
Puck,
more than
let's
enough.
go.
Yep, Jakiro in range, set up there with Doom into the Infernal Blade. Chalice also wanting to join in on the action, jumps in. There's FY, he's going to make sure that he's able to secure the kill for himself. He's the one that put in the work, throws out the blast to get it. Now the turnaround will be there with Raging Potato and KP being deep in the jungle of PSG.LGD, but a quick ice path from X-Nova slows down the aggression of KP. He's been Dream Cold. Chalice jumps in. The silence on 2 means that there's no song available from Arjit to stop the fight.
No.
The Reaper's side follow-up there from Maybe will get themselves the 3rd kill as well. Raging Potato's on the run, but they're hunting him down. As Raging Potato, he'll try his best to hide in the trees, but they have got vision upon him as FY leads in, slams him down with the Infernal Blade. 4 kills picked up by PSG.LGD, and that's the same level of execution and calls that we saw them making in that game 1. The build from Maybe perfectly working out, having these drums, 4-star, straight in, getting on top of that Naga Siren before any chance of an escape is made. You couldn't have played it more perfect.
Yeah, and I don't blame the Naga Siren for being so conservative with the song usage. Normally you have a Razor who gets an extremely high duration link and you're like, okay, we can definitely take this fight. And these Ice Paths are just completely shutting down KP. He got a pretty extended duration link onto the Doom, and X-Nova was canceling his Ice Pass animation until he was absolutely positive he would be able to land it. As soon as he did, Puck followed it up. Necrophos thought about who should I scythe first. Eventually, the Shadow Shaman shackled him, and he was like, all right, you made the answer easy for me. I'm just going to go for your Naga Siren, as the Razor's already died. And the whole time, Ajit was just like, we could probably get a kill. Oh, okay, I could probably get away. I could probably cast my song, I'm dead.
And it feels like this is the sort of the problem of sometimes running a Naga Siren. I see Raging Potato will fall is all this action is going on, and you have this Naga Siren Arjit he's desperately trying to get that Diffusal Blade done, but until he has that done, he's not really a threat at all. He does nothing in these fights against these heroes, apart from, well, if he gets it off, putting a stop to the fights, but even then, he's not been able to do so with the way that PSG.LGD have been able to jump him. It very much feels like at this point, PSG.LGD, they can pretty much do whatever they want on the map, as Mineski do not have the resources to answer the lineup of PSG.LGD.
And you contrast that with a Terrorblade, who is really just limited by his Metamorphosis cooldown. Doesn't really matter how high his farm is in the early game, it's mainly just how many levels he has. And he has all the levels in Metamorphosis, he's got a double damage rune, and he will gladly push a tower, he'll gladly join a fight if all these things are available. And Mineski have not been able to take advantage of when Metamorphosis is unavailable. Granted, they haven't even been able to take advantage of Terrorblade at all, as he has not really been showing up to many fights. They're mainly just having to deal with the Puck and the Necro, and probably the Doom is their #1 issue, who has completed a Blink Dagger.
Mineski smoking up. They want to try and make something happen, get that fight going when the meta isn't there. As you say, it's not been an easy ordeal for them so far. Maybe they can do something different this time round, but it's proved to be very hard for them to catch PSG.LGD off guard. Normally very aware of the movements that Mineski have been intending to make. Tian comes out, so they know that
terrible
Chalice
place.
is around here, but it's around this shrine. Already PSG.LGD, the warning signs are there. They're getting themselves hidden in the trees. Can Mineski get any sort of catch? They'll lead in with the Light Strike Array, but the Dream Coil is going to be down onto the three of them. They have got the Hex onto the puck. Can they actually kill him off? No, Chalice, he's still alive. Phase Shift's going to be there. The Song of the Siren being used, but Song of the Siren into what? It looks like Mineski, they don't even know. They're starting to back away. They don't have anything to follow up with. They just got to sort of wander themselves away from this. They are able to turn with the Aftershock to nuke down Chalice, but Mineski's surely going to take heavy casualties for this one. The wards are down. FY Shackle cancelled by the Infernal Blade onto Reggie Potato. The Reaper Sap was stopped there. Ninja Boogie did get the save with the Magic Immunity, and in fact, Mineski, it doesn't go too badly. They keep KP alive, save him from dying from the Reaper Scythe. Moon's able to even find the Jakiro as well. So PSG.LGD, the confidence getting punished for the first time, as it seems, this series, as Mineski are able to pick up the favorable trade.
I think Necro kind of mind-gamed himself. He knew that the Fate State was going to happen, and he saw this Razor at critical HP. He's just like, all right, you know, I'm just going to wait. And then after that ends, then I'm going to scythe someone else. But the whole time Razor was at like 15% HP, he was continuing to right-click people with his Static Link. He was continuing to get unstable current procs, and LGD was like, are you going to kill this guy or what? Are we going to take this fight? What's happening? And plus, Necro was ward trapped as well, which was well played by Raging Potato. And so overall, it seemed like they were just trying to escape, but LGD was not able to convert.
It didn't look like it was going to be a fight that Mineski were able to take. But suddenly, as it seemed, PSG.LGD, I mean, they didn't think that either. They chased them straight up that lane. They were like, we've got this fight in the bag, boys. Let's go. Let's get them. But Mineski, they pressed all the buttons and it worked out.
Yeah, and perhaps overconfidence, as we did say, this whole thing started off by Metamorphosis being on cooldown. It was on cooldown the entire time, and now he's getting snuck up on by this Naga Siren and this Lina with the Aether Lens.
See if they can do it. They have got the Laguna Blade as well. Arme's got to be careful how low he gets, as they are turning towards him. Your setup will be there. Moon follows in with another stun. Laguna's there.
Played.
Very, very good play from both the two of them. Moon using his spells immaculately to make sure that there's no chance for the Terrorblade to use that Sunder, to at least give him that sort of ability to live a little longer, maybe bring someone down with him. But the control's there. It's a big kill as well, knocking Arme off the map, who was starting to climb back ahead after a slow laning stage. And that should allow the time for Arjit's Naga to get back on top of him in terms of farm.
And the rest of Naga's team has also been getting a lot of farm. So, I mean, Lina has an Aether Lens, Shadow Shaman has an Aether Lens. He's working his way to a BKB, because if you manage to shackle this Puck or this Necrophos, life can be amazing. And obviously that would be good against Terrorblade as well, but I imagine Terrorblade is more willing to build a BKB than those other two heroes. Right now Necro has a Radiance queued up, Puck has a Yule Scepter queued up, whereas Terrorblade's like, I know this deal. I'm building a BKB. I'm going to need it against this Lina and against this Shadow Shaman.
So the tankiness of the Terrorblade will be stepped up.
Yeah.
Not only by the Magic Immunity, but as we've seen, having that S and Y actually completed after the drums before going for such arm. He has that extra HP, so there's less of a worry of him being burst. Doesn't necessarily help him, as we saw there in situations where Arme is out on his own against two heroes, but in the midst of a team fight, should mean that he gets the opportunity to get his spells off, get that Sunder out.
More theoretical heals coming in from the Necrophos as well, so I think the longer a fight goes, the better LGD are, both with the Heartstopper aura from the Necro and just your overall tankiness with your heroes like Doom and eventually the Terrorblade. Whereas Mineski, they're all about burst. They want to get in, get out, get on with their life.
Well, they're trying for a bit of a bait play with Arme. They saw him get caught out the once. They have him on his own down bottom, or at least apparently, but they're hidden there in the trees under the cover of the smoke. Smart usage of the scan though from Mineski. They know that it's a bait. They scan in the high ground. They know that backup is there behind Arme. They'll allow Reggie Potato to get out.
Siren.
Yeah, Arjit does stick around.
He did not get the memo.
He really didn't. It seemed like a smart scan, a smart read. I mean, Raging Potato knew on his support Shaman. He was like, all right, it's a setup. It's a bait. We're out of there. Arjit says, what? And he died.
We are playing on land. There are no latency issues. I'm pretty sure Naga Siren had as much information as the Shaman did. But now Puck is actually going to be just fine. As KP though, he's not.
The Metamorphosis is used, and this was one of those factors that wasn't in the previous fight. You know, Arme didn't have the meta, didn't use it before. But when he does, you cannot mess with him. This Terrorblade, very much good to go. Shoots himself up to the top net worth point, and at 24 minutes in, they'll be able to start taking some more towers. They took the tier 1 and the tier 2 mid already. Bottom tier 1 tower now taken by PSG.LGD. They'll be able to move on for a second as well with the amount of time left on this meta by the looks of it. And with 3 dead on Mineski, very little they can do in terms of defense. Well, I say that, PSG.LGD, they're respecting this.
Wow.
There's only 3 alive on Mineski. Arme did have a bit of time left on that meta, but they don't want to push it. They feel that their game's in a comfortable position. I guess there's no reason for them to take any risks. For PSG.LGD, they play it safe. They get some of that respect.
Yeah, that's surprising because they even placed an eastern cliff ward, so I thought they would be like, okay, what we're worried about is if Naga manages to get a sleep setup, then we're boned. But I would have thought that they were prepared for it. They had enough time on the Metamorphosis, but you know, they have a net worth advantage.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sure the Terrorblade and the Necrophos feel that they're probably up on their counterpart cores, so play it safe, especially if Roche hasn't been taken a single time. Because if you lose a fight, then things may start to get out of control, because Mineski can take it fairly quickly if they want to spend the Serpent Wards for it. So if there's an objective like that still available, might as well just be a little more conservative.
Oh, the fight's certainly got a whole lot harder now for Mineski with that Radiance being complete on maybe. It's Necrophos. He'll be sure to be in on the front lines. I mean, what's sort of the best point of call for Mineski in terms of these fights? Who do they jump? Who do you get rid of? Who is Raging Potato you're looking to get the lockdown on? Are you trying to stop the puck? Are you trying to delete this Necrophos? How do you go about the fights?
I think it's just whoever's the most out of position. Whoever's the easiest, I suppose. It's not like we have to, like in game 1, they had to kill the Oracle, otherwise nothing would happen. Here you're like, if I'm able to kill this guy from a distance with my Aether Lens and Laguna Blade and Static Link and my long-range shackles, then we'll kill whoever gets close enough.
Mineski trying for a bit of a poke in mid.
The only thing is that with that game plan, like they don't have any blink daggers. Oh wait, no, Moon. Okay, Moon picked up a blink dagger. Okay, so that is the one thing that can force a fight. Because right now, the way I described it, Mineski basically have to wait for LGD to be like marginally out of position. They don't have a way to be like, I want to start a fight now. This is how it's going to happen. But now that Lina has a blink dagger, they can definitely do that. Because between blink and Yules and all of that boosted with Aether Lens range, she can cover a lot of distance.
And Raging Potato with this BKB after the Aether Lens, it's if you look at the lineup of PSG.LGD, the only sort of heavy physical is this Terrorblade. So as long as obviously Raging Potato, if he is the lockdown onto the Terrorblade or anyone else is, he is going to be able to BKB, hold down a target, and it's going to be very hard for PSG.LGD to kill him through that magic immunity if the Terrorblade is disabled.
Strangely enough, though, he only has 2 points in the shackles right now. So, I mean, it's still a very long duration disable. It's 3.5 seconds, so he may end up completing his BKB before he maxes out his shackle, as now Moon is able to blink out of the mid lane.
Yeah, FY there, trying to be quick to jump to catch him out as Moon clears out the way with the Dragon Slave and Light Strike. Moon just that little bit quicker. FY still charging forward, seeing if you find anything else. You just find Chalice. Centaur Stomp with the backup from the Oracle will be there to keep KP safe to start with. Gets Jules up in the air. X-Nova has the dual breath down. Song will be used by Arjit, and it is a defensive one. Moving everyone back up to the high ground. Mineski don't want to mess around. Bottom lane.
Raging Potato's messing around,
He's
though.
going for the split push pressure. He's got the wards dropped down. Tries to go for the TP out, but the Scythe will be there to cancel the TP and to kill him off. They will be able to farm up the wards as well. We'll see if there's going to be any attempt to deny each other with the wards, but this is going to be the case. Just focuses on getting as much damage done to that tier 3, which is, it's not that much. They were able to respond pretty quickly to that play by Raging Potato.
50% damage to a tier 3.
Can
I get some unhealable damage, please?
I mean, I'd say it's like
unhealable
that's
damage?
like a 45.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I guess technically it's what, that's 49%. If you do the maths, what's the maths on that? It's like 48.6.
Sure.
48.4, maybe.
I'm North American. I don't know what math is. TP out from Jakiro, he gets out. Actually manages to get out before the rod projectile connects on him. I mean, Mineski are buying time for this Naga summon. Will it amount to anything is the real question. Ajit has managed to complete Amanda style on top of the Diffusal Blade. So, you know, if you manage to shackle a puck, just mana burn the puck, and, you know, you don't even need to worry about killing him. Or, you know, it's probably unlikely that you'll be able to fully mana burn a Necrophos, especially one who has completed a Radiance, as Naga Siren does not have any sort of accuracy to be able to go through that, but hopefully she's able to start doing something, because Ajit has not really been able to flex this one position farm quite yet.
Still yet to see sort of that shining moment where the carry Naga comes into full force in these
Exactly.
fights. Which is expected, you know, Naga Siren carry, it's not going to do anything crazy early on. It's going to be that point where the Naga's at a stage where her illusions are very hard to deal with because the items built up, that you start to then see the strength of her as a position 1 carry.
She's scaring off this Jakiro, but kind of showed which one's the real one.
There's going to be friends that Jakiro will die, but it's allowed FY to get in and on top of the real Naga Siren. She needs help. She needs it quick. She's going to get it. Ninja Boogie's there with a false promise, and the Naga Siren, Arjit's able to walk back to safety. The buyback did come out from Moon, and they're going to allow themselves to try for more. He's able to jump and get the Light Strike Erase done out onto maybe Rodovatos as well from KP, holding him down. The Hex onto Chalice. Phase Shift will be able to dodge the Q from Ninja Boogie in the river. Raging Potato trying for the shackles onto the Terrorblade, but the Metamorphosis is out. He's beaten down by the physical damage. Arme gets the kill. Now farm at the Serpent Wards as well as Mineski have to back away. They do get in, they get Chalice, they get the kill as well. Onto the Jakiro, but it's costly. You're buying back on the Lina for that one.
Yeah, and Lina had died in a completely separate engagement. She had died to Terrorblade, I am assuming in the bot lane because that's where Ame emerged from. But yeah, she had to buy back, and it ended up profiting them some. But I don't know how she ended up dying like that. But poor Shadow Shaman. So even once he completes his BKB, he may still struggle because he had the correct Terrorblade shackled, but the illusions with the Metamorphosis
Still hurts.
Yeah, they just peppered through him. And Jakiro felt the same pain as he was able to kill off the Naga Siren with the help of the Doom, but the Diffusal Manza illusions killed him. And so both these supports are starting to realize that this is when the game starts getting a little bit more uncomfortable once these one positions are able to kill you with just minimal effort.
Oh boy. Oh mate. He's got that satanic. He's very. That's a lot of HP.
That's a lot of HP.
That's a lot of
It's
HP.
a lot of status resistance also.
And
41%.
It's a lot of everything
a lot
that Mineski had to work through to kill this Terrorblade.
But that BKB ain't looking so smart now, huh, Shadow Shaman?
It's going to be rough. This Terrorblade he's hitting the timings now. Certainly is. Arme, 18,000 net worth.
Nice path onto this Oracle, but they're not sure how...
Twice jumping for it.
Yeah, he's gone.
Chalice being there as well. Silence does come in after the magic community is there, but surely still no escape. He gets the false promise off as well, actually, Ninja Boogie. He's certainly making them work for it, but with the amount of damage that's going to be nailed down upon him, he will pop. Ninja Boogie falls. That is the Oracle gone for a solid 45. May just be a support, but it's that crucial backup hero that Mineski do need to really make any sort of moves themselves.
Perhaps a Roche move, as Metamorphosis is going to be up in 2 seconds, and if that Oracle's gone, then you can be pretty confident that even with the song, Mineski won't feel too eager to fight this.
Yeah, they could try.
They're going to
Sort of
hold on
Song
to
of the
meta.
Waltz in.
Yeah, until they know that there's a fight, Ame isn't going to trigger this Metamorphosis.
Team Moon really wants to do something with that in the last few seconds of the DD. He's going to look, but the Light Strike comes out. It's a little too slow, though. Immediate reaction there from Maybe. No hesitation with the BKB. That size sending Moon out of the game for 150 seconds. He's gone. That's it. That's the end of his story, as he's not going to get a chance to play.
This is when you start frantically scanning around the map. You're like, I'll be useful.
I'm sure
I'll tell you what items they have.
If you were at home, this is where you start hitting the Alt tab. I don't think they can do that here.
Start playing some Tetris.
You got to stay in the game. There's no sort of flicking over to Twitch chat and watching out for the Omega lols.
And this is amazing for Ame. He doesn't even need to use Metamorphosis for the Roche now, and so they can gladly take this Aegis. And they have plenty of time. I mean, it depends on how much they want to take advantage of this Lina being in the grave for another 100 seconds, but I imagine every single remaining outer tower is probably going to go down pretty quick. Or they can attempt high ground.
Oh, they could do a lot. I mean, they could win the tournament.
They could probably do that.
Before this Lina's back alive.
This is the butterfly effect. Lina dies, LGD wins. 1 tower down.
It's a long, long time. 80 seconds still. PSG.LGD, they're up on the high ground, ready to go. Look for some tier 3s, look for some barracks, Metamorphosis pop, 4v5. What can
Naga's trying to
Mineski do
push
to
down
stop this?
the Doom and the BOTs from Raging Potato, so a defensive glyph to keep them alive. And they want to split push, they want to race.
They're trying it, the wards are down, they're hitting onto that tower. They've done more damage to the tier 3 down bottom than this Terrorblade's done to their own up top.
But Naga's dead now.
She's got buyback. She will be able to make hay. It was an intended death. It's a quick trip back to base with the
Tactical.
buyback. It's an expensive TP. It's
Ah,
traveling first class.
right. Doesn't need to use that courier glitch.
No, you just use a casket.
Yeah, I got you.
It's KP.
Aghanim's coil.
That's going to get him through that BKB. They have the song. They have lost half of the racks up top. Is there anything they can do in terms of trying to take a fight? I don't think so. They've got to step away. So that will be the opening into the base as PSG.LGD move towards the mid. As an update, just in case you weren't aware, Lina is, of course, still dead. May have felt like as many moons ago.
Breaking news. She's still dead. Necro still has Aegis. Ame does not have Metamorphosis now, but he still has 41% status resistance, so that rod lasts for a whole nothing seconds.
Get the Hex, but it's just so hard for them to make any sort of follow-up.
Oh, Lina's coming back.
Finally, he's back in the game. Let's see what they can get.
TPing to the shrine.
They lead him with the shackles, but you say the Aegis is there. This Necrophos is not too scared about being jumped on. The Razor, though, on the other hand, has to be careful. KP, he's going to be dead. He's gone. He's not got buyback. 50 seconds. KP's out. As the mid racks, they'll surely be taken. Oh, yeah, the buyback was just available again. So he is able to come immediately back in. Get the Dream Call onto the four, jumping from maybe
hero
into the midst
coil.
of them all. This looks like it could be it for Mineski, as they've lost 2, 3, 4. Moon, as soon as he was back in the game, he just dies again. I mean, that's got to be the worst, really. You're dead for 150 seconds. Finally, you're back alive. You turn up, and then you die. I mean, he might have well have stayed dead. GG is called. This game, this series is over. PSG.LGD taking the series 2-0 against Mineski. Game 2 a little slower. Mineski able to hold on that little bit longer, but sort of past that 15-minute mark, it very much seemed that PSG.LGD were continuing the display from Game 1 and just playing at that world-class level that I can't wait to see which team's going to be able to match it.
Well, it may be either Vici or Pain. I don't know if their series is completed, but much as how Kyle was saying, it's looking like LGD are feeling pretty unstoppable right now. That was, again, like not necessarily a draft victory by any means, but every single player on LGD were just playing exceptionally well and executing their heroes as you know, perfectly as you could.
Yeah, the itemization as well, just from all of them. Chalice getting the blink early, the sort of the drums, the force, allowing maybe to play very aggressive on the Necrophos and Ame. Full S&Y, then the BKB, then the Satanic. Suddenly this Lina, the burst, it's not a threat. You're not killing this hero. And Arjit's Naga Siren, it just feels like there's a lot left to be wanted from it. It wasn't able to do anything in this game.
No.
There we have it, ladies and gentlemen. 2-0 for PSG.LGD as this series comes to an end. That's it for me and Tsunami on this one. For now, we'll pass you back to the panel.